Good morning. I'm so sorry for keeping you waiting. For those watching it live, I had a microphone issue, but hopefully you can hear me and it's all sorted and we shall get moving. So thank you for your patience. Today's class is morning power flow. It's not going to be sort of the most intense class ever. If you saw the little description I put before, we're moving through we're doing a sequence that's, we'll move through it once where we pause in the positions, get that sort of hold and that stretch, and then we'll move through it again a little faster. So hopefully the sequence will be a tiny bit more familiar to you in your head. So we'll be able to sort of get that more dynamic movement where things start to feel more challenging on the heart rate and stuff. So start towards the back of your mat into child's pose. Your knees to be wider than your hips, sit onto your heels, slide those hands away and let your forehead come to rest to the floor. Find that nice long length between fingertips and sit bones and give those hands a press down into the floor so that you can push your bum that little bit closer towards your heels. With each deep breath in, feel the sides of your body grow wider and breathe out to remain nice and heavy. Again, as you breathe in, feel the front of your body puffing out as you expand into the chest. And exhale to soften. And as you take your next inhale, think of sending it into the back of the body as you dome the upper back, expanding. And exhale to soften. Taking that little reminder to try to keep the breath linked with the movements to help you move that little bit more fluidly and give you that lovely calming sensation, which is very much needed when we're working hard. From your child's pose, take a little look forwards, and as you rise forwards towards tabletop, allow yourself to come all the way down onto your belly. So your belly is down, draw your elbows out from underneath you. So you come into Sphinx pose, elbows under shoulders, hips pressing down into the mat. Just allow your neck to wake up a little here. Chin pulls towards the chest. Roll one ear towards one shoulder. Roll it back via the chest. Other ear to the other shoulder. You can pause in any place that feels particularly juicy for you this morning. Maybe you feel comfortable to take full circles. Switching direction, trying not to get too dizzy as you do so. And then draw yourself back to center. Lift through that chest. Start to press down through the elbows, and you can either leave your hands flat or you can hold your own fists or interlace your hands. Press down into those elbows and tuck under your toes. You're then going to think of hollowing out the front of your body so that your chin come towards your chest. Start to lift your ribs, your belly, your lower belly, the front of your pelvis. Start to lift some thighs until it's just the knees left on the floor. Then press those heels away as you rise into a forearm plank. That escalated quickly, didn't it? Shoulder blades are going to stay nice and broad across your back. Push down into those elbows. Keep thinking of hollowing out your belly, so scooping that tailbone, thinking of making your core as firm as you can. Keep pushing, keep doming, holding, breathing in. And then in a reverse direction, as you breathe out, softly drop the knees. Then a little bit of thighs, a bit more thighs, front of the hips. Bottom of the belly towards the ribs, untuck those toes, lift your chest, look forwards, squeeze your shoulder blades back as you press the pelvis down. From there, bending your right knee to send heel towards bum, right hand to come to find that foot, and just for a moment, give it a pull in towards your bum to stretch through the quad and the hip flexor on the front of the right side, and then press that hip down. Activate that stretch as you give that foot a little encouragement. Bearing in mind the quads are probably still quite cold, so it's not going to be the most deepest stretch of your life, but might feel it. Take a deep breath in, and then keep hold of the foot, kick it towards the back of the mat. Feel your pelvis press down, squeeze through your right glutes, lift through your chest. Hopefully you can feel the big stretch across the front of your right chest as well. Inhale. Let go of the foot, but leave the foot into the sky. Let your chest come down, left arm reaches out with the palm facing the floor. You're going to roll yourself onto that left side, so the foot in the sky, then steps off behind you. The left leg resting on the floor, bend the knee to give yourself a little bit more of a shelf to rest onto here. Right hand, that's the one in front of your face, is going to go over behind your back. See if you can grab hold of your own ankle and then put that foot back down on the floor. Quite the complicated pose to start, but it should feel nice and juicy across the front of the chest. Press down through the front of the left side. Keep rolling that right shoulder back. Deep breath in. And a slow breath out. Great, with your right hand, bring it back to the floor. The foot that's on the mat behind you, I want you to kick the leg towards the sky. Doesn't matter how high it is, but I want you to try and get the leg straight. Now, turn the toes to start to turn down towards the floor. So think of heel towards sky, toes towards floor, flex the foot. Start to make circles with your leg and make those circles as large as you can. Keeping that foot flexed, keeping those toes turned downwards. Think of leading with your heel. Make those circles bigger, and then change the direction of the circles. If you're going one way, go the other, and feel those bum muscles wake up. From there, send that leg back to the sky. Turn your toes to face up towards the sky. 2 options. Your right hand might be able to reach your toe, and you can lift it for your hamstring stretch. If that's too far away at this early time of the morning, take the back of the calf instead, and just give the leg a pull to the sky. Press your heel upwards, get into that hamstring, and then release. Slide your bottom leg away, rest yourself down as you unravel and come back into Sphinx. Elbows under shoulders, chest is stacked, chest is forwards, interlace or hold your own hands. Coming back into that forearm plank, so the toes are tucked. First the belly lifts, lower belly, hollow out that belly. Tuck the tailbone, thighs lift, knees lift as you find your way up into forearm plank. This time we're going to find some dynamic movement. They're called hip dips. So your chest is going to stay still. You're going to think of dropping your hips towards the right side of the mat. You can pivot onto your feet, then go all the way up and over and dip them towards the left. We're going to go for 5, left side, for 4, left, go right for 3, left, 2, keep pushing into those elbows, last one, return yourself back to neutral. Press away through the heels and then return journey. The knees go down, the thighs go down, the hips, the belly, untuck the toes, lift through the chest. This time, right arm reaches out. Palm faces the floor, arm is right in line with the shoulder. Oh, excuse me, no, we're not going there yet. Do your half bow first. Can't get rid of that juicy bit. So bend your left knee. Find your foot with your hand. First, we give it a pull in towards our bum. Heel getting as close towards the pelvis as you can, but press your pelvis down as well. You can hold the foot in whatever manner you like. I go for a very lazy grab when I do this. Breathing in, lift your chest. And then keep hold of that foot nice and firm. You're going to find strength this time. Kick it to the back of the mat. Let it pull your chest that little bit taller. Press down through the pelvis, squeeze the muscles of the lower back. Take a nice deep breath in. And then release the foot. Keep that left leg bent. Then we move to the chest stretch. Right arm reaches out, palm down alongside the shoulder. Roll yourself onto that right side. Let the toes find the floor. Your right supporting leg, bend the knee. Give yourself a bit more balance. Left arm all the way up and over. Find that ankle. Put the foot back on the floor if you can, if you had to lift it to find that bind. Give the hand a little press down against the floor. Roll that left shoulder back. Deep breath down into the belly. And all the way back out. One more. Good. Release the hand, or should I say release the ankle. Let your hand come for some balance. That left leg behind you, I want you to kick it towards the sky. Get the leg as straight as you can, even if it means taking it a little lower. Turn the toes to face down so the heel lifts up. Start to draw circles with your leg. It's your left glutes, your left bum muscles that we're trying to target in this movement. So really focus on the strength in that left bum muscle, mind to muscle connection. Big old circles and then change direction. Keep control. Try not to just sort of throw the leg around. You're really wanting to get your muscles to do this rather than momentum. And it should start to feel quite warm. And then take your last circle, take that leg to the sky, turn the toes to point upwards. Either the left hand finds the left big toe for a bind, or just take the back of the leg and give it a little pull to the sky as the heel pushes up and the toes flex to the face. Breathing in. And then release it. Slide the bottom leg out so you can come back onto your belly. And one last time, we're going to roll our way up into our forearm plank. Elbows under shoulders. You can interlace or press the hands together, tuck the toes. Lift the ribs, lift the belly, lift the pelvis, lift the thighs. Finally, lift the knees as you broaden through those shoulder blades. This time, we're going to move them into some side planks. So you can either leave your hand like this, which makes it a lot harder, or turn your hand down. Left forearm stays down, roll onto the sides of the feet, right arm to the sky. Option to make life harder by stacking the right foot on top of the left. Press your pelvis to the sky, as if you're trying to make yourself a rainbow shape rather than a straight line. And then come all the way up, all the way over, onto your right elbow, right forearm, left arm goes to the sky. Option to stack those ankles, those feet, if you want to make life harder. Breathe in. As you breathe out, come back towards forearm plank, drop your knees, hands to come up as you find your way into tabletop. Don't know about you, but I am sweating already. A nice deep breath in as you scoop the belly to the mat, lift the chest, looking forwards. And as you exhale, hollowing out the belly, chin to the chest and the tailbone tucks. Again, breathe in, shoulder blades squeeze together, chest is broad. Breathing out, doming the back, tailbone tucks, broaden the shoulder blades. Again, breathing in and breathing out. Great. Make sure you've got some space in front of you. I'm just going to move back a little bit. Take one more deep breath in to come into your, I always forget which one's which, cow pose. Belly towards the mat, chest is lifted. Sit bones are pressing towards the sky. So you're really sticking your bum upwards, anteriorly tilting the pelvis. Keep that anterior tilt and walk those hands away into puppy pose. So the chest sinks towards the mat. Maybe we let the forehead rest. If you've got more range of motion in your shoulders, maybe your chin can rest instead. But keep the arms strong. They're not resting there like they would in child's pose. They're pressing into the floor. If we can, we keep the forearms and the elbows floating. We can make that life a little harder for ourselves, or better for the stretch, should I say, if you pitch up onto fingertips. Sit bones still push to the sky, chest and ribs still push to the mat. Breathing in. And then breathing out, walk your hands in a little way. That same idea of the pelvis is the same shape you want to make in your down dog. So tuck your toes, lift your hips, think of those sit bones pushing to the sky still, but instead of letting the ribs flare out towards the legs, you want to think of wrapping the shoulder blades to flatten the spine and engage that sort of hollow body shape as best you can. So you're sort of going for more of a core shape than you are in puppy pose. But the pelvis is still doing that same rolling forward, sit bones up, thighs press back. If you want to do the pedal of the legs, then go for it. But find that nice long length from wrist to sit bones, from sit bones to heels. Breathing in. And breathing out. With your right leg, as you inhale, lift it to the sky, three-legged dog. Stretch that left hamstring. Exhale, step the foot forwards, place it roughly where the right hand was. Lunge into that front knee, on top of ankle, back leg is straight. Inhale, right arm to the sky. Turn your chest, send your gaze to the sky. Exhale, see if your right elbow can tap the floor just next to your big toe. Don't worry if it can't, just drop as low as you can. And then inhale, send it back to the sky. Exhale, hand comes back to the floor, step the foot back, hips to the sky, down dog. Left leg, inhale, reaches tall. Think of it as a big split. Exhale, place the foot where the left hand was into your lunge. Inhale, left arm to the sky, turn through your chest. Exhale, left elbow taps the floor next to the big toe or just does its best to. Breathing in, the arm goes back to the sky. And then exhale, hand back to the floor. Step your way back and into down dog. Breathing in. Breathing out. Great, right leg again. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it forwards, place it where the right hand was. This time, drop your back knee to the floor. Inhale, right arm spins to the sky, turn through your chest, and then bending that back knee, hand catches the foot and give it a little pull in towards your bum. Rotate through your chest, breathing in and breathing out. Great. Release that foot, hands to the mat. Step your knee back towards tabletop. Now that little photo that you might have seen on the thumbnail, we're going to come into a balance pose. We're going to bend that left knee again, this time catching the foot with our left hand, so we're still into tabletop. We can then extend the back heel away from us to lift the back knee. Keep that nice strong press into the right hand. See if you can allow that right leg to float away from the floor. Wibble, wobble, wibble. Now if you can't grab the foot, don't worry, just grab the back of the thigh. It's still just as hard. And then place the foot back down. Good job if you managed to balance there. Obviously not my first attempt. Press your heels back, lift your hips to the sky, come back into down dog. Left leg, breathe in, send it to the sky. Breathing out, step it forwards where the left hand was, drop the knee to the floor. Inhale, left arm to the sky, twist and turn. Exhale, bend the back knee. Catch that foot, pull it in towards your bum to give you that stretch as you keep that chest rotating. Inhale. Exhale, drop the foot back, step the knee back so you've come back towards tabletop. Let's see if we can balance just as well on this side. Keep your left hand onto the floor, bend that right knee, right hand to catch the foot. If it can't, just hold the back of your thigh, keep the knee bent. Strong core, strong glute, squeeze every muscle that you can think of. First, extend the leg, get it straight, and then take as little weight as you can to the toes until finally they may or may not be happy to float away from the floor. Squeeze your left glutes to help that leg keep lifting. Hold it. Breathe. Great, guys. Pop the feet back to the floor if you still had them lifted. Toes tuck, hips to the sky, into down dog. So we're moving now into our first sequence that we're going to move relatively slowly. I just mean that we're going to pause in each shape. So, and then hopefully we'll be able to remember it a little better for the faster sequence. Right leg, inhale to the sky, three-legged dog. Keep that top leg as straight as you can, point or flex the foot. Now walk your hands towards the back of the mat, but not all the way. So it's almost a little bit like a warrior three, but the fingertips are still on the floor. The left heel is down, that right leg is still lifting. You can keep a bend in the standing leg if you need to. Chest stays drawing out long. Think of growing as long as you can between the crown of your head and your rear heel. Breathe in. As you breathe out, draw the knee underneath. See if you can tap your knee and nose together underneath in this standing pose. And then breathe in, kick it all the way back out towards warrior three. Take more weight into the left heel. This time, see if those hands can rise as the chest lifts a little further to come into warrior three. Hands in front of your chest. Squeeze your lower back muscles. Shoulder blades draw together. And then exhale, hands come to the floor. Walk your hands forwards towards plank. Get the shoulders on top of the wrists. The knee draws forward. See if you can tap your right elbow and then place the foot wider than the right hand as we come into lizard. Keep that back heel pressing away from you. The hands and the torso are on the inside of the thigh, chest is forwards. Option to drop the left elbow, if you can, and option to drop the right if that's there for you. Keep the front knee squeezing in towards the shoulder. Try not to let it flare away and push down into the big toe side of your front foot. Breathe in and then breathe out. Back onto the hands if you're not there already. Drop your back heel down so the toes point to the left. Hand can stay to the floor or you can come to the thigh if you need to. Inhale, left arm to the sky into your side angle. Pull your pelvis underneath. Tuck that right side of your bum under the body. Roll the left hip back, roll the left chest back and send the gaze to the fingertips. Use this right arm to keep driving the front knee a little wider. Breathe in. And then the feet don't need to change position, but as you breathe out, you're going to shift towards the back of the mat into a side lunge. Now we don't want to sink all the way down low. I want you to stay halfway lifted. Drive the left knee towards the back of the mat. Point the right toes to the sky, push your hips out behind you. You'll be glad in the faster sequence when we don't hold this for quite so long. Press into the outer edge of your back foot. Breathe in. And then drive forwards to the front of the mat. Bend into the front knee, warrior two. Arms are wide alongside the shoulders. Keep this front thigh driving wide and those shoulder blades pinching back. Inhale. Exhale. One more deep breath in. And a slow breath out. As you breathe in, arms to the sky, flex the front foot, toes towards the ceiling, and then drop the foot so it matches the back foot. We're coming into a wide-legged fold. As you exhale, allow yourself to fold towards the floor, fingertips to find the mat, if that's there for you. Think of your body staying nice and long, so your torso staying long, tabletop shape through the spine. Your exhales can deepen your fold if you have that room to move into. Inhale, length. Exhale, keep folding, press into the outer edges of the feet. Feel like your inner arches are lifting. Squeeze your inner thighs, squeeze your quads. Breathe in. And then breathe out. Walk your way back to the top of the mat. Step the foot back, hips into the sky, down dog. Great. So that's our one sequence. We're going to do it on the left side, same sort of pace. Inhale, left leg rises, three-legged dog. Straight and strong, keep that leg in the sky. Walk the hands back until the heel touches down. Fingertips to stay to the floor. You can keep a bend into the standing leg if you need to. Push away through that back heel. Squeeze through your left glutes to help that leg lift, and chest stays long. So it's kind of halfway between a forward fold and a warrior three. It's like a diving, I can't remember the name of it, it's like a diving pose. Take a nice deep breath in, keep lengthening. Breathe out, knee and nose, try and tap each other underneath the body. And then inhale, send it all the way back out. Transfer more weight into the standing leg. Maybe take a little bend, give yourself some suspension. You're going to lift your hands off the mat into your warrior three. Hands together in front of the chest. Keep this standing knee driving wide. Don't let it collapse in. Lift through the heel, lift through the chest. Inhale. And then exhale. Hands to the floor. Walk them forwards towards plank. Shoulders on top of wrists. And then knee. Tap the left elbow before placing it down wider than the left hand. Lizard lunge, press away through the back heel, straighten out the leg, chest pulls forwards. You can drop the elbows to deepen the pose if you wish. Squeeze the thigh in towards the shoulder, press away through the back heel, breathe in and breathe out. Bring yourself back onto the hands. If you drop them down, drop the back heels. The toes now point towards the right. Your hand can stay to the floor. You can put it onto a block or come up onto the thigh if you need. Right arm to the sky. Side angle. Whether or not your hand is on the floor on your thigh, you can use it to drive this knee behind you. Open that hip. Pull the pelvis underneath. Turn the chest. Gaze to the fingertips. Great. One more breath in. So the feet don't have to change as we come towards the back of the mat into a side lunge, hands in front of your chest. Press this knee wide, sink your bum behind you. I don't want you to come to here. I want you to stay lifted. Press into the outer edge here, flex these toes to the sky, push your bum behind you, keep your chest lifted. Inhale. Exhale. With a nice strong inhale, rise your way to stand into warrior two. Front knee bends on top of front ankle, body right on top of pelvis, and your chest stays nice and broad. Roll the thighs away from one another, tailbone lightly tucks underneath. With a deep breath in, arms to the sky, straighten the leg, flex the foot. As you exhale, drop the front foot so it matches the back. Exhale, fingertips down to the floor, wide-legged fold. This time, if you'd like to, take your hands to hold the outer of your legs and give yourself a little extra pull to deepen your fold, making sure you're keeping your quads nice and firm. Lift your kneecaps towards your hips. Roll those sit bones to the sky, just like we did in puppy pose, and just like I said for down dog. Breathing in, breathing out. One more. And then exhale, walk yourself to the back of the mat. Step the foot back into down dog. So we're going to move through it a little quicker. I'm going to do my best to not breathe down the microphone at you. So not much pausing is going to happen here. Inhale, right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, walk the hands back into this diving sort of half hybrid shape. Exhale, knee to nose, see if you can tap underneath the body. Inhale, kick it back out. Hands float away from the floor, warrior three. Exhale, hands to the floor, walk them forwards, knee comes to tap the elbow. Place the foot wider than the hand, lizard lunge. Breathing in. Drop the back heel down, right hand stays to the floor, the thigh. Lengthen those left fingertips to the sky. On the exhale, shift towards the back of the mat, toes to the sky. Keep halfway out of the squat, drive the knee wide. Breathe in, rise forwards into your warrior two. Open the arms, flex into the front knee. Breathing in, straighten the legs, reach overhead, toes turn to face the left. Exhale to forward fold, hands to the mat, wide-legged fold. Breathe in, walk yourself back to the top of the mat. Step the foot back, down dog. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, walk those hands back, a little hybrid shape, fingertips to the floor. Exhale, knee to nose underneath the body. Inhale, kick it all the way back out, flex through the foot. See if you can find a little bit of balance into your warrior three. Exhale, hands to the floor, walk forwards towards plank, draw the knee to tap the left elbow, place it wider than the hand, lizard lunge. Inhale, chest pulls forwards, back heel presses back. Exhale, drop the heel, toes turn to the right, right arm to the sky, side angle. Inhale. Exhale, shift towards the back of the mat, hands in front of the chest, sit bones back, knee goes wide. Breathing in, warrior two, broaden the thighs, broaden through the chest. Inhale, straighten the legs, straighten the arms, turn the front toes, and as you exhale, fold, wide-legged, forward fold. Breathing in. Breathing out, back to the top of the mat, step the foot back into down dog. Maybe you want to take a pause into child's pose, of which you are very welcome. 3 breaths here, or a couple of sips of water if you're like me. Great, guys, into down dog if you're not there already. Slow that breath down, inhale. Exhale. Take one more, breathing in. Breathing out, back to a nice slower pace of life. Right leg, inhale to the sky, different sequence now. Exhale, knee is coming forwards or foot is coming forwards between the hands, help it there if it needs to. Front knee on top of front ankle, back heel presses away, come to rise into your high lunge. Keep your arms reaching towards the sky, nice and strong and engaged in the arms. So in this high lunge shape, we want our back leg straight, squeeze through your left glutes, lunging into this front knee. I want you to try and think of not changing your front leg now. We're going to bend just the back knee. And I want you to think of going directly down rather than forwards. You're going directly down, tuck the tailbone, hover the knee just off the floor, arms stay to the sky. Think of flattening out the front side of this left pelvis. Super strong pose, the legs are quivering. Hold it, another one that you're going to be glad for when we move a little faster. Inhale. And then exhale, let it find the floor. Untuck the toes. Now let your hips drive forwards and down. Keep that left glute squeezing. Keep your core nice and strong. Stretch into that left hip flexor. When we're in a low lunge, we're happier to let the knee go beyond the ankle. So if you're very flexible and you've got this sort of shape, this low lunge is the place that's good to test out that range. It can feel really nice, not if you've got funky knees. Take another deep breath in. As you breathe out, let your hands come down to the floor. Step your foot back, hips into the sky, and downward facing dog. Great, inhale, come forwards into plank. Coming into a right hand side plank, so right hand stays down. Turn your feet onto the sides, left arm to the sky. Same as with forearm plank, if you want to make life harder, stack your feet together. If you still want to make life harder, float the leg instead. Breathe in as you hold and breathe out. Great. Now that left leg, that top leg, I want you to step it off the floor behind you, as high up towards your hands as you can, and then sit down towards that heel. The right leg is still straight towards the top of the mat. I want you to now think of strength into this left leg, left glutes particularly. Your right toe is going to think of reaching towards the mat. Breathe in, push your pelvis to the sky. Turn your chest open into your wild thing. Left arm alongside left ear. Think of a nice curved shape across the top line of the body. Hold it, breathe in. Now trail that back leg all the way over to the top of the mat, left foot, step it as high up the mat as you can, which is not very far if you just saw what I did, and then step your back foot in a little further so you're not in your longest stride ever. Coming into a bit of a long pyramid shape, keep your front leg bent for the time being so that the belly and thigh stay connected and your fingertips to the floor. And then I want you to try to pull your front toes off the mat. Now it might not be very far depending on the length of your hamstrings, but again, priority, belly and thigh connected, press the back heel down, flex these front toes up as best you can. Hands onto blocks is an option, but remember this front leg does not need to be straight. It's the only reason it would ever be straight is if your belly can stay onto your thigh when it is. Each breath in, think of your spine lengthening towards the top of the mat. Each breath out, find that compression. Use your core to squish your torso against your thigh. Inhale. And then exhale, rock forwards, hands to the mat, feet step back and into down dog. Second side, same pace, left leg, inhale to the sky. Exhale, step it forwards between the hands, help it if it needs. Front knee on top of front ankle, make sure your feet have left and right sides as you rise into a high lunge. Press away through your back heel. Strong, active arms to the sky. Right glute is squeezing the entire time and the core is staying nice and firm. Tailbone is lightly tucked under. Breathe in as you hold. As we bend the back knee, remember we're going directly down. The front leg doesn't really change. It just brings the pelvis that little bit lower. Hover just off of the mat. Press into the ball of that back foot. Hold it, guys. Inhale. And then exhale, drop the knee down, untuck the toes, sink those hips forward and down, keep your rib cage rising. Something I like to do in my low lunges is each time I breathe in, I reach, I lengthen, I lean back. And each time I exhale, I just ease off a little. Again, breathing in, lift, lengthen, engage. Exhale, ease off a little. Great. Hands come back to the floor, foot steps back, hips into the sky and into down dog. From your down dog, use an inhale, roll forward into plank, shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, left hand stays down, roll onto a side plank. You can keep the feet staggered, you can stack them, or you can float that top leg if you're feeling super ambitious. Push the pelvis a little taller, reach through those right fingertips, breathe in. And then the top right leg, step it off behind you as high up as you can, and then just sit for a moment. It should feel like a nice moment of pause. As you lift those hips, you're going to think of the left toes reaching towards the mat. Breathe in, strong legs. Drive your hips to the sky, right arm alongside the ear into your wild thing. Inhale. On the exhale, draw that leg all the way over. Send it as high up the mat as you can. And then back foot, just shorten the stance slightly so you're not trying to overachieve here. Belly and thighs are connected for our long pyramid pose. Draw the front toes off the mat, press the back heel down, keep your torso and thigh connected. Think of that compression, so your belly pulled up towards your spine to pull you that little bit closer towards your thigh. Inhale to find length. Exhale to keep folding. One more, breathing in. And then breathing out. Rock back forwards. Foot steps back into down dog. And are you ready to move through that a little quicker, guys? I think I am. So, right leg, inhale to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it forwards between the hands, rise into a high lunge, arms to the sky, back leg is straight. Exhale, bend the knee, float it just off of the mat, breathe in. Breathing out, drop the knee, untuck the toes, sink, squeeze through your glutes, lift through your rib cage. Exhale, hands to the floor, foot steps back, down dog. Inhale, come forwards to plank. Right hand stays down, inhale, rise into a side lunge. Exhale, step the top foot off back behind you, sink your bum to your heel. Inhale, push your pelvis to the sky, open through your chest. Exhale, trail that foot back to the top of the mat, shorten through your stride and come towards your pyramid. Flex the toes, inhale, chest forwards. Exhale, step forwards, downward dog, hips to the sky, second side. Inhale, left leg reaches high. Exhale, step forwards between the hands, knee on top of ankle, lift your arms, high lunge, back leg is straight, squeeze your glutes. Bend that back knee, float it just off the floor, tailbone is tucked, legs are nice and strong. Drop the knee, untuck the toes, hips drive forwards and down, rib cage lifting to the sky, can't find my words. Exhale, hands to the floor, step back, down dog, hips to the sky. Inhale, forwards into plank. Exhale, left hand stays down, side plank, right arm to the sky. Right foot, step it off behind you, sink your bum towards your heels. Inhale, push the pelvis to the sky, open the chest, right arm up and over. Breathing in, trail that leg with control to step towards the top of the mat, shorten your stride, everything points forwards. Breathing in, flex the foot, press down through the back heel, lengthen the chest forwards. Exhale, step it forward, step it back into down dog. And this time, guys, we're all gonna take a child's pose. Knees drop, bum to heels. Arms can stay forwards, or if you prefer, they can come alongside you. And just rest your forehead to the floor for a moment. Lengthen through the breath, breathing in. Soften across the face, breathing out. Great. From there, just walk your hands in to come to sit towards the back of the mat onto your shins. We're going to work through, our legs have done a lot now. I guess our upper body did too. We're going to do a little more into the upper body. You've got a couple of options. We're doing a headstand of some sort, variation. That doesn't mean your feet have to leave the floor if you're not comfortable to. Take hold of your own biceps, place your elbows down on the floor and do not let them move. They're going to stay that wide. Interlace your hands in front of you and maybe just tuck your pinky finger underneath so that when you press down, you're not squishing your pinky. Top of the head onto the mat, so the crown of the head goes into your hands. We're then going to tuck the toes, lift the hips and into our half headstand. You can choose to pause and stay here, focusing on keeping as little weight into your head as you can. Press down through the elbows, maybe see if you can even lift your head. See if you can hold that. Option to work on your headstand by walking your feet in. You can bend the knees, press down into the wrists, press down the elbows, one heel towards your bum. See if the second one can gently come to meet it. Whether or not you're working on finding balance upside down or you're working on finding strength in your upper body to maybe one day find strength upside down, take 3 more breaths here. Breathing in, elbows are pushing down. Breathing out. Again, breathing in, breathing out. Take 1 more breath in. If you're upside down, come down as slowly and as controlled as you can. Your breath out. The knees come to the floor. Sink your bum back towards your heels. Back into child's pose. Just let your forehead lightly rest onto the floor. Maybe just let your forehead roll sort of left to right. It feels kind of nice and kind of calming, but it's also a nice way just to wiggle that neck out and make sure it's feeling relaxed after that little burst of strength it's had there. Breathing in. Breathing out. Great, use your inhale. Rise your way up towards tabletop. We're coming into pigeon. We're slowing down now, guys. Coming into pigeon, so if you want to, I always like to come into plank, let your left knee come to just wider than your left wrist. The shin is diagonal across the mat. The back leg can then wriggle away from you until you start to feel that stretch in your left hip. Keep your torso upright to begin with. Make sure your back leg is directly behind you and pointing downwards, not sort of cocked out to the side. Let yourself then fold down towards the mat if you're comfortable to. And instead of just sinking and sort of letting go here, feel like you're trying to rise back up away from the floor. So press your whole front leg down into the mat. If you're still after a little bit more fire and energy here, tuck your back toes and float your back leg as well. Think of that back heel pushing away from you. It almost forces you to push down into this front shin, which is going to really activate the stretch into this left hip. Chest lengthens forwards, breathing in. Breathing out. 1 more, breathe in. Release the back knee if you had it lifted. Walk your hands back in. You're going to sit towards the left side of the mat so that you can swing your right leg out in front of you. The left leg, I want you to keep bent as it is, but maybe just tuck it towards your right bum that little bit more so this right leg can step over the top. Tangle your left self up into a pretzel. The sole of the foot places down, the right sit bone stays down. If this is too much, send your left leg out straight instead. Right hand is going behind us either way. Left arm, inhale to the sky. Exhale, hook the elbow around that thigh as you look over your right shoulder. Keep growing as tall as you can, so keep length in the spine. And think of rotating the entire torso rather than just turning your head. Breathe in. And breathe out. You can then roll yourself back towards center. Untangle those legs, let the toes come to rest onto the mat in front of you. Just widen the knees so the hands can come to the inner of the thigh. You're going to interlace, hold your big toes with your first 2 fingers and thumbs. Lift through your chest. Think of a boat pose, because it's kind of like a variation of a boat pose. Heels walk back towards you until you find balance onto your bum, and then start to let those heels push away. This might be where you stay. You might have the ability to keep pushing, keep lengthening, maybe then to start pointing your toes as well. You can then start to think of bending the elbows as everything gets harder and harder as you progress through those shapes. Staying wherever it is that you need to for your body, for your hamstrings, that could be here, just keeping those shoulder blades back, the spine long and the core nice and firm. Breathe in and breathe out. From there, see if you can release the feet, cross your feet, roll yourself over your knees as you come towards pigeon on the other side. So right knee wider than the right wrist, shin is diagonal. Walk that back leg away, everything points down, everything stays level. Allow yourself to come to forearms if that's comfortable, option to tuck the toes and float the back knee. Breathing in. Breathing out, stay active, stay strong in this front right leg as much as you want to sort of sink into it and just do nothing. The doing nothing bit is coming up, guys. Bringing the chest forwards on the inhale. Pressing the leg down on the exhale. Draw yourself up, back onto the hands, release the back leg. Sit towards the right side of the mat. Swing that back leg around. As you come into the little twisty pose, left leg over the top, ground the sole of the foot. If this is too much for the hips and it's just not happening and the sit bone won't go down, extend your right leg out away from you. Left hand is going behind you, that's your kickstand, keeping the body tall. Breathe in, right arm to the sky. Breathe out, hook the elbow around the thigh, twist and look over the left shoulder, and try to find that rotation all the way down towards your belly button, rather than just sort of your upper body. Great, last one, breathing in. And then breathing out. Draw yourself back to face center. Untangle the legs. This time, just make sure before you move into the shape, you've got space onto the mat behind you. Same as before, feet come together, knees go wide. Take hold of the toes or the feet if you prefer. Lift through the chest, find that balance, press the heels away, maybe start pressing the toes away. Now from here, we're going to roll into plow pose. So that's onto our backs. You don't have to, if you don't want to, you can just come down and enter plow pose. If you want to take the little roll, I want you to think of chin towards chest, a rounded spine, and as you roll, tuck that chin and see if the toes can find the floor behind you. Like I say, if that didn't look like something you want to try, you can just come out and then roll the legs back. You can leave the knees bent, resting onto the forehead if you prefer. Otherwise, you can keep those toes to the floor behind you, press the heels back, work the legs towards straight. If you like to take shoulder stand, this would be a good time to give it a go. Or you can stay here, allowing everything to feel a little more closed off, a little slower. And then letting go of your feet, if you still have them, your hands to come to rest onto the mat to act as brakes. You can keep those knees bent and very slowly allow yourself to roll back onto the mat. Think of one piece of vertebra finding the mat at any one time. So use your core to control the motion as the pelvis finds the floor. You can bend those knees and bring the feet back to the mat. You can then extend those legs, a very well-earned rest. At the end of your practice here, arms alongside you, allow everything to feel as soft and floppy as possible. Relax the face, close the eyes. And just keep your attention on the breath, watching it move in and out the body. Each time you breathe out, feel the body sink a little heavier, melting a little more into the mat, as though you were some thick liquid melting down against it. Allow the breath to start to return to a more natural pace and depth, starting to release that control that you have over it. And then with a deep breath in, you can reach your arms overhead. You can point your toes for a full body stretch. And your exhale to draw the knees in. Give yourself a little hug. Softly, gently, rolling yourself up to seat. Finding that nice long spine. And then as you inhale, reach the arms to the sky, lift the chin. On the exhale, hands down towards your belly as your chin lowers to your chest. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me this morning. I really hope that was a lovely, energetic start to your day where you can feel ready to go have a great achievement. There's this little announcement coming on my social medias today. I'll be putting it up on my YouTube in the next couple of days. I have an online workshop coming all about it's called The Secrets to Flexibility. There'll be some more info on my Instagram today for those that follow me, but hopefully you can join me for a more sort of interactive, educational, learn how the body works workshop, which is coming up 9th of August. Hope you can join me for another online class soon. Thank you so much for coming. I say coming, I wish I could see you. And if you do feel able to donate towards the class, my link to my PayPal is just below the video. Have a lovely day, and I will see you soon.